in the 1970s, again, as I said, the center was we had quite a decent sized center, and there was sort of like this situation where, and Guru kind of felt, Guru often referred to us as the London boys. We had like a really dynamic attitude to the center. The girls were all sweetness, and whenever anything like, needed to be done in that way, the girls would do. But then, we decided to have this this relay run, and it was around the time that they did the first, I think, Liberty Torch run in the States, where they ran from, I think, the East Coast to the West Coast to the East Coast, or wherever, and also in Canada they did a similar run, relay run with the torch. And so we had decided to do this one where we would run from one of the centres in actually Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland, to London. It was, and we called it the UN Day Runners, and it was basically over a 3-day run. So we had like basically 2 teams of 7 runners, I think it was, and we managed to get like 1 motorhome that we got a sponsor to give us for 4 days or something. And so we started off, and we would basically, one team would run obviously a certain length, and then they would rest while another team took over. And so we had some really, really interesting experiences on the run, and saw the way that, for us, it was a really wonderful way of manifesting Guru's light. And you'd see how people that didn't really know anything about meditation or spirituality or whatever would embrace us. I remember the team that I was with, we had a little break at one point, and we went into a cafe to get lunch, and we were upstairs in this cafe, and the waitress came and she took our order, but we were all wearing these like tracksuits with UN Day runners and so on and whatever on. And she noticed this, and she asked us, what it was all about. So we told her, and we told her all about Guru and this and that and everything. And then so we ordered to have breakfast and everything. We had breakfast, not lunch. And so when we went down to pay, they told us that this waitress had already paid for us. So this again, we didn't take like usually donations or sponsorship or anything like that, but like people very often opened their hearts to us, simply because when they heard about, in a sense, the story of Guru, and that it was all this thing about peace and trying to bring harmony and bringing people together. And so when we eventually ended up in the British Parliament, and one politician, one MP, came and met us there and everything, and we had a big ceremony and everything after the 3 days. And Guru was very, very interested in this whole thing. And when we went, this was in the summer, so when we went, some of us went to New York in August, Guru had a special function just for us, which is really, really nice, I mean, we also had been involved with the closing ceremony with the Liberty Torch run, also in New York at that time. And so that was, again, Guru, you saw how Guru really appreciated that we use this opportunity to manifest him, and you saw the way that affected people. So you saw that it was really an important thing to do, that it was something very special, and not just going for a run and carrying a torch or so on. It was something really, really special, and it was a great way to manifest. So that was kind of like one of the things that, again, as I learned in New York, in London, the opportunities that we had. They were quite small sometimes, but like Guru really appreciated them, and of course at that time the center was quite small. I remember when we would go to New York for celebrations, whether it be April celebrations or Guru's birthday celebration, there would maybe be 300 disciples, visitors and so on, even with locals and stuff. And the great thing is that, we would have, like, Guru would have these things called family days. This was before the whole thing of joy days and so on. And it was family days, and it was usually like once a month, he would have like on a weekend, he'd have a function somewhere, upstate New York or out in Long Island or so on. And there would be various activities and stuff, but there would always be an opportunity where Guru would have a meditation. We'd all gather around him, we'd all sit in a group, and then Guru would ask, again, we could ask questions, and Guru would talk to us, and he'd tell us stories. And it was very much like I mentioned before, that it was like our spiritual father sharing his intimate compassion with the disciples. So that was really, really special. And it was kind of like, basically it was very special. It was something that you really, you felt very, very close to. And it was something that you saw, as I said at that time, there was an intimacy between the disciples and Guru. But then as more and more disciples came and so on, things changed. And some people had a problem with the way the center was, that they didn't have that same kind of access to Guru, But I also saw that the center was evolving, Guru was evolving. It's one of these things that life is not static. You always have to be changing and evolving. And Guru was a perfect example of this, in the way the center was constantly evolving. And that some people were a bit uncomfortable with it and other people embraced it. And I guess I was very fortunate that I embraced it. And I think maybe because of that, my relationship with Guru, I wasn't per se a close disciple to Guru, but I did have personal, I had occasions where I had personal contact with Guru. And I think it was Guru said, I've kind of said in the past, sometimes Guru would bless me with praise or whatever, but then occasionally he would scold me. But the way I always felt, and Guru talked about, he'd said, I remember Guru had said at one point, when I bark, it's all love and compassion. And I embraced that and felt that, and so that was kind of one of the things that I really understood, that that you had to take that experience. It was all, Guru was kind of basically putting you on the right path. He was seeing that your devotion was such that that you wanted to make progress, you wanted to move forward in the path. And Guru would give you every opportunity. And if you were straying, Guru would sort of like, give you a little shake or something. And the thing was, personally, I would basically say I would always try to be in the heart. I think Guru always wants us to be in the heart. And I would always try to be in the heart, but sometimes, you get into this mental thing, you get too much into the mind. And so I had a few occasions, over the years where I would ask Guru, well, at least 3 occasions, I would ask Guru a question about something that I almost knew the moment I asked the question that it was a stupid question. And I guess Guru knew how to behave with me, or the way that I would respond correctly. So the first time Guru had said to me, like, "Are you stupid?" And of course, like, because I was in the mind, I would sort of think, wow, why is Guru saying this to me? Why is he asking me if I'm stupid? And as I said, this happened to me on 3 occasions. And on the 3rd occasion, even without thinking, I spontaneously said, "Guru, I think I am stupid." And Guru looked at me with the sweetest smile. He said nothing, but it was like he was so happy that I was acknowledging that sometimes when you're in the mind, you can be really stupid. You just have to surrender. So that was kind of like my experience that I try to share sometimes with people, to say that, one, it's no different whether Guru is blessing you or scolding you. It's all Guru's compassion. And that, when you go too much into the mind, you'll always ask stupid things or behave stupidly. And so, but Guru kind of will ultimately bring you back on the right track.